This came out earlier on from Marca that said it's likely that Real Madrid's transfer business for the summer is done. It's over. To be fair, they have just brought in Kylian Mbappe. I don't know how much I believe that. I think that Real Madrid do have a stance, and that stance is they want players in on low fees with low length of time in the contract, or they want them for free, and that just adds to my worry and concern about Trent. Because I've not yet seen one story written to say there's zero credibility to Trent wanting to go to Madrid or weighing up his options. And an article that came out has only increased my concern. Does this make sense to anybody else? This article said, Liverpool are reportedly expected to officially hold Trent Alexander-Arnold contract talks before the end of the year. Not the end of the week, the month, the window. Liverpool are apparently going to hold contract talks with Trent before the end of the year. When, what? He leaves for free then? If Trent isn't committing to a deal right now, this minute, this week, this day, then he's already had his head turned. If you can't get him tied up and signed on to a new deal before the summer transfer window closes, then Trent is sailing off into the sunset, or you're about to reverse truckloads of money to Mr. Alexander-Arnold's house in order for him to stay. He either loves the club and wants to stay, or he doesn't. There's no middle ground on this. We can't yet again look like placating little simps who sit back and allow these things to happen. There's no sense to that. You either convince him now, or he doesn't want to be here. It's that simple. I don't understand how it's a debate. If you allow him and start talking with him at the end of the year, then best case scenario is you pay him Marcus Rashford stupidity money. Worst case scenario is off he pops to Real Madrid for free. And I don't know how any journalist can write that crap and not push back on it. Who are they kidding? This narrative about Liverpool being really calm and relaxed and cool about all these contract extensions is absolute nonsense. How can you be relaxed about it? Because if Trent leaves, that's an indication of exactly what our friend said earlier on. That people are looking at the situation at Liverpool and aren't seeing much positivity or much reason for optimism, or don't believe in the plan or the pathway of the coach and the way the club are going around their business. That's what we need to start talking about. These players need to be convinced, so let's do some fucking convincing. Make signings, show ambition. Last night's stream title was no transfer or no money, no ambition, no trophies. And that's what's being projected right now into the world by the football club. Opposition fans are having a field day. Journalists are sticking the boot in left, right and centre. Everybody else is going about their business and showing the world that they're serious. And what are we doing? We're again being polite, respectful, sitting back. We're getting mugged off. That's what we're doing. And surely to God, somebody with a backbone at the club is going to finally stand up and resolve these situations. Sepp van den Berg shouldn't even be training with the team now. Sepp van den Berg should be blackballed off to the side until he apologises for his statement about the club. But no, our journalists, they're writing that Sepp's the solution. That Arne Slot's been so impressed with him. Nothing about him being belittling of the club. That's already fine, apparently. Fuck you, it's not fine. It's disgusting. It's not good enough. He should be told to apologise. Or frozen out. Sell him. And if nobody wants to pay the fee Liverpool are asking, that should be a bit of an indication all around. Because remember, nobody's willing to pay €20 million or £17 million for Sepp van den Berg, but you and I are supposed to believe that he's the saviour. You and I are supposed to believe the centre-back, who nobody else wanted to spend £17 million for, is all of a sudden good enough to make us title contenders. That does not make sense. Doesn't compute. Doesn't add up. As I tell you guys all the time, I love to read through comments from other Liverpool fans on other platforms. And this one said, Liverpool must be one of the very few clubs that can't seem to get rid of fringe players. Either Liverpool overvalues them or nobody is interested. We're always reading different clubs have expressed an interest in, but they either go out on loan or their contracts run out. Nat Phillips is a prime example. Then we have the other equation. Top players run down their contracts and leave for free. Strange way to conduct business. Anybody disagree with what that person had to say? Because I think what they've said is pretty much spot on. It has been what's happened. Players run down their deals and leave for free. And they're doing it again. The fringe players, how many years have we been selling Nat Phillips? How many years have we been selling Reece Williams? Only for nobody seems to want to pay the money for them. And every year the numbers get lower and still no interest. But we're supposed to believe that they're good enough for us. How can we get these contradictory statements all the time? Liverpool put a price tag on X, but yet is in the plans. And I'll give you a good example of this today. Today a piece was written that said, Liverpool would want around £75 million for Luis Diaz and would only sanction a sale once a replacement is lined up. But the same publication a couple of weeks ago said Liverpool have no intention of selling. There isn't a number. So why all of a sudden is there numbers being thrown around? It's not like Barcelona have ramped up their interest in Diaz. In fact, they've gone the other direction. And for us to bring somebody in before we move him on, chance would be a fine thing. But it's not looking likely. Nor is the interest there in him. And I'm cool with that, because I've nothing against Lucho. But again, contradictory statements that are continuously being published to just twist the narrative. And it's not good enough. Maddie, how are you, mate? Said, I'm really worried the way FSG are acting. We could be set for another Hodgson era. All our best players leave and we end up with crap players. So at that time, Liverpool didn't have a lot going for them. We were in transition. The club hadn't got much money. The owners were an absolute disgrace. And yes, the Hodgson era was dark days. But those days should well and truly be behind us. Lots of other stuff have happened and the club have pushed on in the right direction. And I think most of us would agree, we're not too far away from being where most of us feel we're ready to compete. But we can't have a window that the narrative and the conversation is strictly about Trent, Mo and Verge, their contracts. Will they or won't they sign? Us bringing in money from selling players. It's all just treading water, making excuses, so that when we overpay to keep one or two of these people, it's heralded as a success and pitched accordingly to us fans. Don't fall for it. Demand better. Speak up. You know we need 3 signings. They know we need 3 signings. The journalists know we need 3 signings. All these people, like Fabrizio, who are saying, don't worry, Liverpool are working on deals. Who the fuck are they? If you know, you know. If you don't know, shut up. But they seem to just want to keep stringing us along. And some people are happy to lap it up. Stevie Boy, thank you for your super chat. Said, Liverpool can't renew contracts, let alone sell players. It's a shambles. So here's the thing about it, mate. These 3 contracts that we're talking about, this has been going on a year. Every time there's an excuse. Firstly, the club are in no rush. The club will plan on speaking with them. This is 2 years ago, between now and Christmas. That came, nothing happened. Then it was, the club are going to speak to them before the end of the season. Then Jurgen announced that he was departing. Then it became, the players don't want to commit until they know, understandably, who the next coach is going to be. When the coach was brought in, all we heard was Liverpool players have been very impressed by the selection of Arne Slot as the next coach. The vibes from behind the scenes are good. Yeah, here we are. Not one of them signed a new deal. Not one. Every day that goes by, they get further and further away from doing it. Every day that goes by, the club are going to have to pay more and more money if they want to keep them. Or you lose them and then have to pay a load of money to replace them. How is it clever? How is this strategy working? 12 players left the club recently, 8 of them for free. And now we're staring down the barrel of 3 more for free.